Good evening from London, and it's actually not a particularly good evening because it's raining and bleak and the light is fading. Hello to all dear comrades, friends and supporters from Dr. Dermot Hudson, the chairman of the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea, chairman of KFA UK and official delegate of the KFA for the UK, President of the Association for the Study of Songun Politics UK, and of course the owner of this very channel, Songun 007, the voice of Songun and Juche here in Britain. And as a supporter of People's Career and a follower of the Juche idea, I have to say something about the recent remarks of Sleepy Joe Biden, or Daft Joe, or Idiot Joe Biden, at the so-called US South Korean summit that's taken place. And of course, as we all know, there's been a summit between the US imperialists and their puppets, the South Korean Yun regime, the fascist regime in South Korea. And of course, this was an occasion for Biden to give orders to the puppets, and also for new threats to be made against People's Korea. And Biden went as far as to threaten People's Korea with nuclear annihilation, saying that if the DPRK took self-defensive measures against the US, it would result in, and I quote, the end of whatever regime, unquote. That's also a very insulting way to describe the dignified, independent, Juche-based People's Korea. It's a most brazen and bellicose threat against People's Korea, and it shows the true intent of the US reactionaries to destroy people-centered socialism. And it's funny, isn't it, how the US keeps saying, oh, we've got no hostile intent towards the DPRK, yet here they are actually talking about it'd be the end of the DPRK. The US also announced the open deployment of US submarines equipped with nuclear weapons. Now, the actual presence of US nuclear submarines, US submarines with nuclear strategic assets, or let's say nuclear weapons, on the Korean Peninsula is actually not new at all. In fact, the way the media, I should say the imperialist mainstream media, have spun this has been very misleading and confusing. Because in fact in the past year you've had US nuclear submarines operating in Korean waters along with nuclear bombers of the US. So it's not really new, but what it's doing, it's taking things to a new and more intense level. And of course US nuclear submarines have operated on the Korean Peninsula for a long time. And in fact, just as a bit of an aside here, in fact, back in 2010, a South Korean warship, a South Korean Navy corvette, the Chonam, was actually sunk by the US nuclear submarine, the USS Columbia, which was operating in South Korean waters, but the US didn't want to disclose its presence. And so when it collided with the Chonam and sunk it, they had to indulge in a cover-up of the incident, and falsely blamed the DPRK for the sinking of the Chonam, and cooked up wild stories about DPRK midget submarines and other such rubbish. But, the fact was the Chonam was sunk by a US nuclear submarine, which they were trying to hide the presence of. Anyway, that's, an aside to the main sort of topic here. And the US in its propaganda is trying to portray, the DPRK as the aggressor, as somehow being in the wrong because it is taking a stand to defend its country, to defend its interests, to take no nonsense from others. And it's actually the US that are the authors of the nuclear issue on the Korean Peninsula. It is the US that have stoked up nuclear tension, and they did that a long time ago by bringing nuclear weapons into South Korea in 1957 in actual violation of the Korean Armistice Agreement, and stationed 1,000 nuclear weapons in South Korea. The mainstream media never tell you that. And some people are going to say, I know sort of some pro-imperialist pacifists believe the US that they withdrew the nuclear weapons. But, I ask the viewers of this channel, would you believe that the US really withdrew the nuclear weapons from South Korea? I don't believe it. So the DPRK's development of nuclear weapons is a purely defensive measure to cope with the new US nuclear threat. And you should note that the first DPRK nuclear test was actually in 2006, nearly 60 years after the US first introduced nuclear weapons onto the Korean Peninsula. So I think the DPRK actually showed a lot of patience and restraint. And anyway, the US is clearly threatening people's career again. As I say, they've taken the threats up to the next level. I'm sure that the DPRK will respond one way or another over the next coming days. Let's see what happens. And I also hope the proposed launch of the military reconnaissance satellite goes well. We must step up solidarity with people's Korea with no ifs and buts. So I say, US out of Korea, defend people's Korea. Down with the Biden regime, down with the regime of Sleepy Joe, down with the South Korean puppet fascist regime. Thank you very much for listening. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, Songun 007, please consider becoming a subscriber, and also to our affiliated channel, Korean Friendship Association of the UK. And please share content from this channel as much as you can. Tell as many people as possible about the channel. We really need to do more to defend people's career with no ifs or buts. Unlike some people, I do not ask for money, but you can buy books authored by myself and other people in KFA UK and the British Group for the Study of the Juche idea on lulu.com. There'll be a link in the description. You can donate money to KFA UK as well, if you wish. And above all, we need some action. We need activism. We need people at both our online events and real life events. There's a number of those coming up, so I hope to see you there. Anyway, thank you for watching today. Thank you for your support. have a great day, and see you all again soon. Goodbye.